Well, hello.
Hello.
This was an interesting turn of events for this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's get ready to talk about it. This is Father.Son.Galaxy. I'm Kerwin. This is Keith. All right. We're going to talk about the Mandalorian chapter 21 called The Pirate. How are you feeling? Okay. All right. So let's go. So
I love the episode. Though.
Yeah. This was a good episode. So thank you very much for joining us. If you're live, give us a shout out and we'll shout you back as well. So, all right, let's get started. All right. So, the pirates called the pirate, right? So obviously the pirates from episode
Gorian Shard's gang.
Yep, they're back.
Gorian Shard looks like a sentient plant.
Yes.
He looks like Swamp Thing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. Yeah. He's a very interesting looking character.
Like, he looks like the type of guy who would, like, drip azalea plants when he comes out of the shower or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when this man would get caught in a rainstorm, he would just start flowering.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. He reminds me of a Drengier. Drengier? Or was it Drengier? In High Republic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. He might be some type of species. A cross-pollination. I don't know.
Cross-pollination?
I don't know.
Oh, wait, they're plants. I don't.
Yeah, so we don't know. Okay.
I don't care that much either because he's dead.
Okay, all right. Let's get right to it. All right. Okay, so look, happy Wednesday, Alex. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope both you guys, we are doing well. Thank you. Some nerd.
Sort of.
Good to see you too. All right. Okay,
Hello.
So the pirates are back, right? And they want revenge on Grief Karga and Navarro. Okay. And they want to take out the citizens of the planet, citizens of the town, and Karga seeks help, and he goes to Carson Teva, who is one of the Rangers of the New Republic. He works for the New Republic. He's a pilot, X-wing pilot, for help. And Carson Teva, we've seen Carson Teva before. He
took it to Coruscant.
Yes, well, I was talking about the character itself. We've seen Carson Teva quite a few times. This is played by actor Paul Sun-Young Lee. So he takes it right to the top. He goes to Coruscant and talks to someone from the High Republic. And talks to someone from the High Republic and tries to get help. And he steps in the office of this bureaucrat who is into requisitions, played by Tim Meadows. So Tim Meadows is a former Saturday Night Live alumni. So he's in the show, and he had a great line. He talked about what he does for a living. He says, "I work in requisitions. What do you require?" So Carson was trying to explain to him that this planet Navarro, although is not a member of the New Republic, is seeking help. But he says, well, they're not a member. Well, they don't take priority over the other members. So we have to, make sure that the members of the New Republic are being taken care of before anybody else. All right. So Carson Teva gets turned down. All right. The next step, he takes it to the Mandalorians, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So he shows up.
So he just kind of randomly pops in, and Mando's like, we have to relocate the entire covert now because you just found us.
Yes.
And he's like, well, a former buddy who served in the what was it? In the rebellion is here.
Yeah.
Speaking and R5 just kind of
R5D4. Remember that droid? Yes,
he does. R5, good to see you.
Yeah, he goes way back. And it didn't occur to me that the Mandalorians, wherever they go, they have to make sure that
they pride themselves on secrecy.
Yeah.
Yes, Mando said.
Well, they're not very good at it because so the Mandalorian was actually his doing. He was
harboring a tracking droid.
Well, right, yeah, exactly. So I know why he needed R5D4, to check Mandalore to see if it was safe to
and then he just came along.
And then he just kept the droid for some reason. So now I guess it's Creed that once
they're about it, Mando really hasn't been able to get back to Tatooine.
Well,
and anyway, you didn't realize that Peli sold him the droid. So he can't really return
okay. So this is
I think she sold him the
Yeah, I thought maybe, the droid was on loan or something. Okay, but I think you're right. So I think maybe she did give the droid away because the droid was of no use to her. That's
But
interesting.
he is of use to Mando.
Yeah, he did. He did what needed to be done. Yeah, so Carson Teva goes to the Mandalorians for help, and he shows Din Djarin the hologram of the distress call that Grief Karga made.
Grief Karga's like, the New Republic, please send some Rangers. I fear the pirates will turn Navarro into yet another space hub or pirate base.
Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble. So
they are baked.
Mm-hmm. And the Mandalorians, they have a conversation, have a little conference, and Din says, well, Grief Karga, I know we had our differences in the past.
It kind of reminded me of like a summer camp gathering around the campfire.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Yeah.
Except there's only one person speaking, and everyone else is expected to remain silent.
But
it's like school at a campfire.
Well, that's true. It's nice that they allow people to just speak one at a time, right? Because sometimes if you're arguing and people are talking at the same time, you can't hear anything. Dallas, thank you for joining us. Greetings and salutations. All right. Yes. Yeah. So they're having a conversation, the Mandalorians, and Din gives his argument as to why they should help Grief Karga. They know that the Mandalorians and Grief, Grief used to work for the bounty hunters, right? So he didn't get along with the Mandalorians, but now that he's this high magistrate, he's changed his ways. So Din is trying to convince the rest of the tribe to go and help him. And then Paz Vizsla, loves to talk. He gets up. And
he's like, why should we risk our lives yet again for this small child? I saw many of our brothers and sisters fall in battle to save the life of this tiny foundling and this adult man. Why should we risk our lives again?
Yeah.
Because we're Mandalorians.
Right. Yes. So in other words, he was
straight up juke them.
Yeah, right.
Because here I am thinking he's gonna rally all the Mandalorians to tell him no. But he's like, these people saved my son. Thank you.
Yeah.
Basically he said, I'm with you to the end, all right? We're gonna do this or we're gonna do this.
Yeah, have you ever heard the term "you have the floor"? You ever heard anybody say that?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Meaning
I've heard a lot of things in my 11 years on this earth.
Well, that's very good. Okay, so that means that if you have the floor, you have people's attention, so you get to talk. So rather than give people the floor,
you physically can't own the floor. Other people will step on the floor at some point.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just the biggest game of the floor is lava ever.
Yeah, my point is that instead of them having the floor, they get the hammer.
I know.
Right?
It's
it
like
depends on who has the hammer. Right. Yeah. If you have the hammer, you get to speak. Pass it on to this person.
If you have the hammer, you get to speak. They really turn this into like a stereotypical school classroom.
But you know what? I like it. I mean, I know there's pros and cons to this tribe, but I like the idea that they allow people to speak. Sometimes people just want to be heard. You know what I mean? If they're just given the opportunity to speak their mind, you don't always have to agree. But at least you get the opportunity to say what you want to say and make it a point, and then see what happens after that. So I liked it. It was very organized. I like.
Honestly, though, I'm glad my school's not like that. My school just asks that you raise your hand so there's not 20 people talking over each other.
This is not much different than the tribe. Rather than you're not using a hammer, you're raising your hand. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like you said, your hand's not a hammer.
Right. All right. So now we move on into going to Navarro. So now the Mandalorians have to come up with a plan, a plan of attack and what they're going to do and how they're going to defeat these pirates. So here they just come up with an idea to fly down to Navarro and plan their attack. And then that's what happened. They did a pretty good job. It was an all-out battle. You wrote down in your notes that it was an all-out battle. It was epic, and it was. We looking at the only two persons with a ship is Din Djarin and Bo-Katan.
Somehow that ship holds like 10, 12 people.
Yeah, well, that's true, right? Because you saw the Mandalorians jump from the ship, which was pretty cool. You saw that in the trailer.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
And also, I noticed
Uh-huh.
if you think about it, all those Mandalorians that jumped with Mando were part of a battle pack. So there was a Lego battle pack that released in 2021.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
Never mind.
Go ahead.
Never mind.
No, that's okay. All right. So
they're all part of it.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is, I want to step back and talk about the cantina scene because there were a couple of cameos that took place, right? So I just wanted to make sure that you saw them. Yes, Dallas. Yes, if you have the hammer, you get to speak uninterrupted. That's what it seems like. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to discuss here. That once you have the hammer, yes, you do have the opportunity to speak, which is cool, which is pretty cool, and I like that. And I think it's very organized to do so. So I want to talk about a couple of cameos, very important cameos. Very interesting. I don't know if you caught it, but there was a scene in. Okay, well, we'll start with this one. Okay. All right. Well, so did you see Deborah Chow and Rick Famuyiwa?
And Dave Filoni.
And Dave Filoni, right. So when I was looking at it, well, when I saw it the first time, I didn't notice Deborah Chow. So Deborah Chow is the director. She directed a couple of episodes of The Mandalorian. She also directed the episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Rick Famuyiwa, he's a director and executive producer. And then the man with the hat is Dave Filoni. And I wasn't sure if that was, but then I checked the credits. Their names were there. So they're actually given...
That hat, it's iconic. It's basically glued to his head.
Yeah, it doesn't look like his usual hat. I think it's maybe some
it looks kind of like Cad Bane's helmet.
Yeah, something like that. Hat. Yeah, but it's interesting that they were given credit, and they also have... they have names. Their characters have names. I don't have them written down, but I was interested to see
their names are Rick Famuyiwa, Deborah Chow, and Dave Filoni. That's the characters they play. They're now canon in the Star Wars universe. I guess thank us for that.
Yeah, how about that? And they had no speaking lines, but it wasn't necessary. And then the biggest cameo of all, can you believe it? In live action, everyone, Zeb Aurelius.
Yeah.
If you are a
Zeb
Rebels,
came back. Dad, I told you this would happen.
I'll tell you something. I'll be the first to tell you. I was not interested in a Rebels reunion, live action reunion. I didn't think it was necessary. But then once again, the producers, the creators of the Mandalorian just proved me wrong, and I just couldn't see.
They do that a lot. It's not hard.
And that's okay. Just joked on your old dad there.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I just couldn't see them creating Zeb in live action. Just like I said with the whales, the space whales.
Well, they did both.
And they oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. And I wasn't sure if that was Zeb, but I recognized the species and I said, wow. And then of course he went to the credits and that was Zeb. Voiced by Steve Blum, who is the same actor who voiced the character in Star Wars Rebels. So it looks like we are going to get that Rebels reunion.
We've seen Ahsoka. Sabine's been cast.
Right.
We've seen Zeb.
Yeah. And there's talk about an actress who might be playing Hera, but we don't know for sure. But now
really all we got left is Chopper, but he's like motion capture, so that's pretty easy.
Yeah, Chopper's easy, right?
And then Ezra.
Yeah,
who are you get to play Ezra though?
Well, there was rumors going around that there was a particular actor that I don't remember the name of the actor, but it happened last year, and the actor put something on Twitter and says, I'm glad to be a part of Star Wars, and then I don't know what happened, and it was never announced, so we don't know. We officially do not know who's going to play.
Did he pull a Tom Holland and spill the beans ahead of time?
I don't know what that tweet was about. That was a very interesting tweet. I don't know why that happened, but anyway. So, did any of you catch?
Was it Tom Holland?
Did any of you catch Zeb or any of the other cameos with the directors? Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right. Okay, so Q&A. Some nerd. I did not see Zeb showing up this season, but I love it. Maybe we'll see him in Ahsoka. Yeah, absolutely. Now that this is just the beginning. You know, we're gonna have our Rebels reunion.
Remember the world between
the Ghost reunion.
Remember the world between worlds.
I do. Yeah.
You know what kind of annoyed me?
What's that?
Ezra went to go free Ahsoka,
Mm-hmm.
and then he tried to free Kanan, and Ahsoka stopped him. Like, what was that about?
Well, okay, so Ahsoka had a good point, though. You know, she mentioned that some things, even though you may have the opportunity to change things, change the world, or, you know, change the way things took place, that it's probably best not to, because things happen for a reason. So what Ahsoka
but Ezra just spontaneously brought Ahsoka back.
Right.
So,
okay.
Like, I don't know what her point is rooted in.
Well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. So, you know, it was Ezra's decision to save Ahsoka, and he had the opportunity to save his master, but Ahsoka said to him, I don't think that's a good idea. And, you know, she could be right, because she also said, well, you can't save your master. I couldn't save my master, referring to.
But her master's technically still alive. I mean,
I hear it.
Again, what is her point rooted in? She already knew that.
It's a very interesting point. You know what we have to do is go back and watch that episode again. Maybe there's something else that she was forewarned that if you tried to save Kanan, that something could happen. You know, something might change in the future.
Like what? How he brought her back to life?
Well, we don't know.
All right,
we don't know.
So anyway, let's take a quick break for Q&A.
Yes.
All right. Q+. Do you think we'll see Cad Bane? Well, he's dead at the time.
Whoa.
He's one with the spice. Because this takes place after the Book of Boba Fett.
You know what? That's true. All right.
Oh,
Thrawn. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. I think
we'll see Thrawn.
I think we'll see Thrawn in like a post-credit scene.
Thrawn.
Like, I don't see him having any major roles, but in a post-credit scene, I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, just to see him and Ezra on a ship or on some deserted planet. And just see that Thrawn and Ezra parted ways somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. If they find Ezra, they're going to find Thrawn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, without a doubt. And as a matter of fact, I think we might have had this conversation during the first episode. You know, when Carson Teva, you know, getting back to the episode, he talked about this threat that was happening or that's coming, you know,
Gideon?
With the Empire. Yeah, well, we didn't know if he meant Gideon or could it be Thrawn. You know, some people are thinking that maybe Thrawn is behind the rise of the Empire.
Well,
right
that'll probably happen next episode.
Well, I mean, to me, you know, as we continue to talk about the episode, well, we can talk about it now. So we'll talk about that scene in the Lambda shuttle.
Pretty epic team up, though.
What's that?
Like to get Mando, Carson Teva, Ahsoka, Paz Vizsla in the armor, and Bo-Katan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just get and Zeb. Just get all of them and like just do a collab like they did in the Book of Boba Fett, where Boba just called in all guns and he's just like, get everyone we've had in the past 3 years that got their own show and bring them here.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
That'd be awesome.
That would be, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, so you know, let's talk about the final scene with this shuttle. This Imperial shuttle that's floating in space.
We didn't even talk about Bo-Katan.
No, we'll come back. That's fine. You know, you brought it up, so I want to talk about this Imperial shuttle that is floating in space, and there's a big hole. Apparently, you know, someone escaped. You know, there was a planned escape, and it turns out that this was the same shuttle that was supposed to be carrying Moff Gideon to trial.
And he's not in the ship.
And he's not there, but everybody else on the ship is perished. Right? All the you know.
So this was pilots, a planned extraction.
Pilots or people who are working for the New Republic. Everyone on that ship on board is gone except for Moff Gideon. So he escaped and he had help. Now Carson is investigating along with the bureaucrat from Coruscant, Tim Meadows, and you know they send in a probe and they're looking around and they notice some Beskar.
What's his name? Reed or something?
Who?
The Tim Meadows character.
I don't remember his
either way,
name. Right.
They notice a shard of Beskar alloy.
Yes, right.
I just said Beskar
alloy. Yeah.
Beskar alloy.
Yeah.
Beskar alloy embedded in the wall. That makes absolutely no sense to me, because like, since
Well-
when did a Mandalorian's shoulder plate just spontaneously break off and lodge itself into a wall?
Something just
That obviously seems like a framing to me.
something just came to mind. All right. Now, I originally thought that maybe someone is trying to frame the Mandalorians, right? And that would, yes, originally. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, because Moff Gideon, we know, doesn't like the Mandalorians. He's not.
He tried to get rid of Pershing because he couldn't get his clone stuff. We still don't know how Pershing's doing 2 episodes later. I mean, we know how Kane's doing, but like, we don't know what happened to Dr. Pershing.
Yeah, well, you know, Gideon doesn't have a love for Bo-Katan or Din Djarin. However, I don't think it's necessarily I don't think he's necessarily framing the Mandalorians. Why could it not be another Mandalorian who is actually working for Moff Gideon?
Name who?
Well, we don't know, because we remember the Mandalorians have split, right? So you know the group that was with
So they're gonna have another infight. Like, is it just gonna be 2 clans of Mandalorians against each other?
Always. Now,
could it be Sabine's clan?
I don't know, but here's my point. So, Bo-Katan led a group, a tribe of Mandalorians, right? And things were going fine at one point, and then all of a sudden, when things went haywire at the beginning of the episode, Bo-Katan explained that everybody went their separate ways. You know, they took on mercenary positions. You remember that? She said that when she was on the throne, just sitting all alone on the throne. And you know, she said that everybody left her. She was there by herself, and the rest of the group took on mercenary positions.
Is this revenge?
Why could it could be possible that one of these persons who is a Mandalorian is now working for Moff Gideon. I think it's absolutely possible.
And specifically placed a piece of Beskar alloy into
Well,
the
no,
wall.
I don't think it was done on purpose.
Right.
I think, but it's possible
if you
that
notice the area where the Beskar was, looked like it had been shot out or specifically dug out. So, like, I feel like that was planted, because why else would it?
You think it was planted? Okay, and you think it was planted because of what?
Because they wanted to frame the Mandalorians.
No, but you know, when you plant something, you know, of course, you know what plant means, but you know, you're actually putting something intentionally somewhere to frame someone else.
Yeah.
So, is it not possible that maybe it was an actual Mandalorian helping Moff escape? And I don't know what happened to the armor, but maybe he was the Mandalorian was probably shot at with blast of fire, and then something might have happened to
Beskar alloy isn't gonna just randomly fracture.
Good point. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, well,
certainly if it fractured, it would fall to the ground, not fall sideways and go into the wall.
Interesting. Okay,
like if it were on the floor or something, that would make more sense.
Well, that is a good point, because Beskar is very is impervious pretty much to any type of blast of fire.
It's got some weight.
And it's heavy, right? Yeah.
So it wouldn't fall sideways unless the ship did some kind of weird turn.
So we're asking a question to you who are listening to the live stream, or actually watching the live stream, or going to be listening to us later. Do you think the Mandalorians are being framed by Moff Gideon, or someone else is framing the Mandalorians for helping Moff Gideon escape? Or do you think it might have been one of Bo-Katan's people who is now a mercenary who might be working with Moff Gideon? Let us know. All right. So, okay. All right. So, Angela Saunders, thank you. Beskar alloy is weaker than pure Beskar. Plus, remember, Moff Gideon's dark troopers are made of Beskar. Interesting.
Yeah, but I doubt anyone who worked for the New Republic would have lightsabers, because we know lightsabers can pierce Beskar alloy.
Well,
these are just like standard grade blaster bolts.
Well, what do you think of the point of Moff Gideon's dark troopers are made of Beskar as well? Could it have been one of his dark troopers that might have tried to help him to escape?
But Gideon wouldn't have access to the dark troopers. Like, weren't most of them either shut down or destroyed by Luke?
Good point. Good point.
And this was years ago, mind you.
And they did make it a point to say Are you trying to say, this is a quote, from Tim Meadows' character. Are you trying to say that the Mandalorians help Moff Gideon escape? So I guess they want to lead you to think that it was a Mandalorian. Now, which Mandalorian? We don't know. Was it really a Mandalorian, or are they being set up? We still don't know. Yeah.
But that Beskar alloy looks silver, the one in the wall.
Okay.
The stuff on the Dark Troopers is black and gray.
Mm-hmm.
Or blackish gray.
Okay. All right. Angela, also the Mandalorians there were Mandalorians who sided with the Empire. That's just true. That's absolutely true. I'm not certain there is a setup to frame the Mandalorians, but I do think the presence of this piece of Beskar alloy. Yeah, it's very interesting. You have a very good point. You're absolutely true that the Empire did have Mandalorians as an ally.
At a point until they started disintegrating them.
Right, and then up until the point where we had the Night of 1,000 Tears, but you don't know. We don't know. We don't
have
know.
No clue what's happening. We've been getting hit with like 5, 6, 7 curveballs today.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Okay. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. But
I was hit in the face by like 3 curveballs.
Oh, okay. We're talking about I knew it was coming.
And then I got hit in the face with 2 more with this episode.
Okay. All right. So we've been up. We've seen the Bad Batch finale, which we'll talk about towards the end of this episode.
No, we're not.
No. What I meant is we're going to talk about when we're going to talk about the Bad Batch. All right, just trust me. Okay. All right. So let's finish up this episode. Alex, Q, question: could the armor be involved somehow, as far as involved in releasing Moff Gideon? I don't think so.
No, she has no motive to do that.
Yeah, I don't.
See, Kane would have the motive to do that.
Yeah, well, why don't we talk about a lot?
She's been on Coruscant just chilling.
Right. It just so happens that let's talk about Elia Kane, because she was in this episode as well.
Briefly.
Yeah. When Carson came in to see, I wish I wrote down Tim Meadows' character.
Reed.
Is it Reed? Okay. So when
just call him Tim Reed.
Tiva is talking to, I'm not going to call him Tim Reed. When Carson is talking to
Tim Reed,
Kane walks in, and she's trying to overhear the conversation.
She's like, I know Navarro quite well.
Absolutely, of course she does. I mean, we know she's working for Moff Gideon. I know she's behind it as well, so she probably has the whole story as to how he escaped and how they were able to find him. So she's clearly working for Gideon, and she's trying to get some information and probably pass it on to him. And she probably knows where he is, Gideon. Okay. All right.
Or send her buddies to go free him.
Who knows? Right? But we know clearly she's working for Gideon. All right. So let's talk about Bo-Katan. All right. So, we did say that the pirates were defeated. Like you said, Gorian Shand, is that his
Shard.
name? Gorian Shard is no longer
Swamp Thing.
Yes, he's one with the swamp, I guess now. So, what do you think about the ship, the pirate ship? It reminds me of
like the Arrowhead.
Yeah, you were talking about that. Something out of Star Wars, Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, the Star Wars: The Freemaker Adventures.
Yeah, cool.
That's what it looks like to me. It looks like the Arrowhead, but without the Kyber crystal blade at the front.
It looked like a very bulky, slow.
It looks like something that gets horrible mileage on space fuel.
Yeah, it just looked like it was moving in slow motion, and it also reminded me of a Klingon ship, from Star Trek. Yeah,
of course it does.
Yeah, it reminded me of a Klingon ship. But anyway, so
I don't speak Klingon. Do you?
I don't either. So
learn it.
So. Yeah, so Gorian is defeated. The pirates, well, most of them, were destroyed. I think one of them might have escaped. So
Vane,
yeah. So he did turn. He may be back, but anyway, I don't think he's that much of a threat.
I don't care that much.
But let's talk about the meeting with Bo and the armorer. Interesting. So
it's quite the interaction.
Little conversation that the two of them had. Now, remember, we had put out a little short last week and talked about how we felt that Bo, in order for Bo to become the leader, she may have to go through this conflict with the armorer, because I was thinking the armorer was also interested in leading her people. And then the two of them are going to clash.
But the armorer willingly gave up control. She's like,
which is
you know
very
what?
interesting.
I'm gonna let you take off your helmet. You lead these people. I'm done here. Like, I feel like the armor. Remember in the first episode when I said the armor was slipping?
Yeah.
Like she couldn't keep up.
Well, not slipping. I guess she was just, calculated. Like she was like taking her time thinking, and she said,
especially during that fight with the space crocodile.
She doesn't say a lot.
And when Ragnar just randomly got swooped up by some birds.
Yeah. And shout out to the armor. I mean, she's very good with the hammer.
She threw that hammer like it was a Mjolnir at that dude.
Yeah, she's very good with the hammer.
She knocked him out.
Yeah. So all right. So the conversation with Bo and the armorer asked Bo to remove her helmet. I was like, I like what?
No, she didn't ask. She just said, remove your helmet.
She just said, remove your helmet. And I was,
do you respect my leadership? Remove your helmet.
I was like, where's this going? Like, is she just gonna throw Bo-Katan out of the tribe?
That's like telling somebody. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. That's like telling somebody, give me your phone and break it in half.
Yeah, it's just I was not expecting to hear that. But anyway, so Bo removes,
and then I'll give you a brand new one.
Bo removes her helmet, and then she tells the armor tells Bo, I want you to lead our people. You can unite us. How about that? So then they go outside, and Bo is like, she is like liberated. Like, I don't have to wear this helmet anymore. She's walking.
She looked a bit uncomfortable at first, but then she's like,
I think
I don't have my helmet on.
Right. I think she looked just fine without the helmet. Like she was like confident, and she walked out there and swagger, and she stood in the middle of them, and everyone's looking like, well, what's going on? Where's her helmet? And then the armor told them,
doesn't that mean she's excommunicated from the Watch or whatever?
No, she is a Mandalorian. She has come from both sides. So she can
just freely remove her helmet.
Exactly. So it seems to me that she can wear the helmet if she wants to.
But the armor never did that.
Well, no, because it's a different creed. But she's giving Bo freedom to do what she wants, pretty much, right? As far as with the helmet, right? And I thought that was pretty interesting. And then, of course, Paz is like, okay, well,
but she does not have her helmet on.
She's showing her face, and and the armor says, well, she's a Mandalorian of both sides. Her goal, her plan now is to find her people, bring them together with our people, and unite Mandalore once again.
I love how these people can cause a great divide over wearing a stuffy head covering all the time. Like they're just arguing over a helmet mainly.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if somebody told me, put on a helmet or you're not in this club.
Now, can I say something about Din Djarin? Yeah. I don't know if you, were watching with.
He nodded to pacifist.
Well, he did, but did you see his thoughts? His thoughts. So, he saw what he was thinking. You want to know what he was thinking?
His thought bubbles popped up.
Yes, a thought bubble popped up. Did you miss the thought bubble? You didn't see the thought bubble?
I didn't.
Let me tell you what he said. He said, what do I gotta do? Why is this happening to me? The armorer kicked me out for me taking off my helmet just so I could see my son. I take off my helmet. She kicks me out. I go and dip myself in the water, the living waters, and
I dip my feet in the kiddie pool for this.
And I kept my helmet on, and then here comes Bo-Katan, and she gets to take her helmet off. Like, well, what is all this? This isn't fair.
Man, I was just like, why is this happening to me?
Why?
I dip my feet in the kiddie pool halfway across the galaxy for this, and you just let this lady take off her helmet.
What have I done to the armor? Why is she treating me like this?
You're the one who told her to do this. This is not right.
Yeah, I look, maybe he doesn't feel that way. Maybe he's happy. He's very happy for.
Or Mando's just like, maybe Mando's just over it.
Yeah, maybe Mando like, okay, look, I believe what I want to believe. Hey, she wants to, remove her helmet. Fine with me. So I don't know. I just feel, I feel that Mando is, getting the short end of the stick here. It just didn't seem.
When is he not?
I don't know. But
he did get a third season.
Yeah.
in a second.
All right, so we don't know what's going to happen. And you know what? We haven't seen the Darksaber since episode 2. So maybe what does this do? What does this mean for the Darksaber? Maybe
you remember how in the season 2 finale and in the Book of Boba Fett, Mando used it for like a little bit and just put it away for most of the fight in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
like he was mainly using his blaster and his rocket darts, and then he just basically stopped.
Yeah. So I don't know. Does that mean that the Darksaber no longer has value? Like, okay, but you know what? I think I was thinking that the conflict was going to be between Bo and the armor. I think it's going to be between Bo and Paz Vizsla. I think he's not happy with this decision of having her lead their people. So
just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they're gonna just fight.
Well, I don't know. Something about Paz, he is not a happy person. he does a lot of talking. He does seem a little grumpy. I really think that he believes, that inherit, as an inheritance, that he should have the Darksaber, because it's a part of his family. I don't know, but I think he might be a trouble for Bo-Katan. Yeah. All right. So Q&A. Let's go to Q&A. Angela Saunders, the conversation between the armor and Bo-Katan was very interesting. Yes, it was. The armor is definitely wiser than most fans think she is. I don't think Din had a problem with Bo-Katan's helmetless. Yeah, I honestly, yes, you're right. I mean, I was, just joking.
I didn't see him having a reaction.
Yeah, well, I don't think he has a problem with it at all. No, I think, Din is like, okay, hey,
I'll tell you what he's saying.
Whatever floats your boat.
Like, I went halfway across the galaxy to go get some mystical water in a bottle. All this way. And this random lady just takes her helmet off.
I know.
I've known her for like a year. Like, I don't even know her. I met her once. Like, where's this coming from? Ah!
Okay. He just yells.
Mando's like, ah! Why?
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting. So, imagine that, if Bo is able to get her former tribe together. And so you're going to have like majority of, like half of the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorians.
Half of the Mandalorians without a helmet. The other half with helmets on. It's just going to be very interesting.
The Banana Mandalorians.
All right.
I gotta get like a muffin tray that's shaped like Mandalorian so I can make Banana Mandalorians.
What else we have for Q&A?
And that's fun to say, Banana Mandalorians.
I thought he was worried she was going to try and get the Darksaber again. Yeah, well, yeah, of course. I was thinking the same thing that
Bo doesn't even seem that interested in the Darksaber anymore.
Yeah,
she does, but she's trying to cast it. She's trying to hide it.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to fight Din for the Darksaber because Din. I mean, he seems like such a cool guy. He just wants to be a good father to his little.
He's like, I just want to be with my space son.
Yeah,
I don't even want this.
He doesn't even want the Darksaber. So what type of competition is that? You're gonna fight somebody for something that they don't even want.
What
anyway.
I find absolutely bonkers.
What's that?
The fact that in Rebels, Bo-Katan just willingly took the Darksaber from Sabine. And was just like,
true,
I'll take this. But now, for some reason, when someone who doesn't even want the saber tries to give it to her, Bo-Katan's like, no.
Yeah, but that's a lesson learned, right? Because that was in the past.
I know.
So she's not going to make the same mistake again, right? To just take it because somebody. I know you still think that she should have took it.
You could just have Mando get some new armor and be like, I cut his chest plate in half in combat.
You mean make up a story that she defeated?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to go down that road again.
She's going to make a forgery.
Yeah.
She's going to make a forgery. She's going to have the armor forge a new piece of armor for Mando. Slash the other one in half with the Darksaber as soon as he takes it off.
All right.
And be like, I have the scraps of Din Djarin's armor piece.
Okay.
I bested him in combat. And then Mando can go live off happily with his space.
All right. So I think we've do we have any more Q&A?
We've rewritten season 3 of The Mandalorian.
You rewritten season 3 of The Mandalorian. Yeah. Yes. All right. Just thank you for those who are watching us a live stream. So please join in. We're talking about
join us for Q&A.
We're talking about chapter 21, the pirate. Some very interesting things happen. What do you think about the conversation between Bo-Katan and the armorer?
Yeah.
Do you now? Let me get through this. Do you now think that maybe Bo may have conflict not with the armorer, but maybe with Paz Vizsla? Might that be a problem? Who do you think released or helped free Moff Gideon from that shuttle? Those are the questions that are out there. So let us know. What do you think?
Repeat the first question real quick.
With the armor and Bo-Katan, right? That was the first question. What do you think of the conversation between Bo-Katan and the armor?
I'll answer all those questions in one run. Crazy, no, and it was pirates.
Okay. You think the pirates released Moff Gideon?
Yes.
Okay. It's okay.
It seems likely that Moff Gideon would want to go for the jugular and try to take down Navarro. Because, if we know anything about Moff Gideon, he's a master tactician.
Absolutely.
He probably gained out that the Mandalorians would be called in to save him. Right.
Okay.
He probably figured Grief Karga would call on them. I mean, it probably didn't happen the way he would have planned it out, but the Mandalorians came anyway.
So
maybe Vane was the one who freed him. Think about it. They just kind of flew off. And if you notice, those blasters didn't look large size. The Holy Blasted looked about normal size. So, it wasn't some large Star Destroyer or anything.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So, you think that the pirates would have had something to do with getting Moff Gideon released, but the Mandalorians are still being framed.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Yes. And that's another question so that we can put out there. Do you think the Mandalorians are being framed by Moff
I gotta
Gideon?
make all these polls, man.
No, you don't have to do that. No, it's not.
I'm kidding. I like making polls, though.
Yeah.
You guys are fun to make polls for.
All right. So I think we have some more Q&A coming in. But in the meantime,
Keith's impression of Mando's internal screaming is perfect. LOL.
Keith's impression. Okay.
I base it off the screaming ghost from Love and Thunder. The ah!
Oof. Careful with the microphone. I mean, those
volume warning.
Yoshi, thank you for joining us. Mythosaurus Rex for the win.
Hope you're not wearing headphones.
Mythosaurus Rex. Yes, our microphones are working now.
Yeah.
Some nerd. I feel like Bo-Katan is going to try to get her old allies back. Yep. And maybe regroup with the clans we saw in Rebels.
Good theory.
Yeah. So one of those clans being
good show.
Being Sabine's clan. Is that what you're referring to? Some nerd.
And that might be their way to bring Sabine in.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Oh, hey, and let's talk about if you're any Star Wars Rebels fans out there, what do you think of seeing Zeb for the first time in live action? I mean, tell me about that experience. How did you feel? Did you have to do a double take? Did you really think that was Zeb, or did you think it was some other species?
I just kind of wrote it off because I figured, it's just some, Lasat. It's not Zeb. Zeb didn't even come to mind. But
yeah, I mean, I thought
that way. Wow, it was really him.
Yeah, I thought that way too. I thought it was just the species. I wasn't sure that it was Zeb. It sounded like Zeb, but I didn't want to,
But all Lasats have quite deep voices.
Yeah, but it's just I'm just floored by this happening. All right. Okay. All right. So
I think that's all.
No, we have Alex.
Right.
Alex, I think Bo-Katan and Paz Vizsla will have more conflict in the future. Yep. And I like the theory I heard of Thrawn freeing Moff Gideon, distracting the New Republic by framing the Mandalorians. Why not? Now
that means Ezra's probably.
Now refresh my memory, Keith. With Thrawn in Rebels, did he have any run-ins with the Mandalorians?
No,
not at all. Okay.
No.
All right. Just checking.
He would have no reason to do that.
Okay. All right. So
my voice is dropped.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna finish up. Okay.
I'm gonna keep doing this until the end.
Please don't do that. All right. So Sumner. Yeah, I can't remember. I think there was a Rook clan Ren. Yep, Sabine. And there was one guy from the Mandalorian's protectors. Yeah. I'd have to go back and take a look at that. I know about the clan, the Ren clan.
Well, I'd say you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I think that's all for Q&A.
That is all for Q&A. Okay. All right. So 3 more episodes, right? So we have the next episode is going to be directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 2 episodes directed by Rick Famuyiwa.
I'm glad they gave him the finales because he's going to deliver with those.
I think so. Yeah. I can't wait to see
especially the finale too.
Yeah. I can't wait to see where this is going. This is awesome. So this is a very good episode. Let's talk about the Bad Batch. So excuse me, please. We were supposed to do, our plan was to do the Bad Batch review tomorrow on Thursday, but we unfortunately have a scheduling conflict.
I got some stuff I need. I have other matters that I must attend to.
Okay. Very good. We will not.
I don't know what that was.
Me neither. We will not be here on Thursday for the review of the Bad Batch, but
because we're doing it on Friday.
We will do a live stream on Friday, so at least that gives us more time for everyone to catch up and
so I can just process whatever I watch.
Check out the last 2 episodes, but we cannot wait to talk about it. We have strong opinions about those last 2 episodes of the season, so please join us on Friday for the Bad Batch live stream. Okay. All right. Okay. I think we're finished.
It's over.
Yes. Keith, where can people find us?
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Amazon. You can get us wherever you get your podcasts. Socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Father.Son.Galaxy. Website, Father.Son.Galaxy.com.
Careful.
Merch store, Father.Son.Galaxy.myspressshop.com. Please check out our community page because we post weekly updates. Mm-hmm. And we would like to thank everyone who subscribed and everyone who watches these videos for bringing us to 820 subscribers.
Absolutely. Cool. We're on the way to 1,000. Excellent.
We are 180 subscribers away from getting to 1K. So smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and help us get to 1K.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We would love if you could do that. Spread the word about who we are.
We got to do something special for 1K.
We'll come up with something. Yeah, we'll come up with something. But yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. I see Charlie definitely.
What if for 1K we gave our 1,000 subscriber one of our Father.Son.Galaxy mugs and like a T-shirt?
We'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll come up with something.
Merch giveaway pending.
All right. We'll talk about it. That's good. Thank you. Dallas, thank you so much for joining us once again. And we hope to see you maybe Friday. We'll talk about the Bad Batch. Definitely you're watching this. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you so much.
This is the way.
This is the way. All right. So, okay. So we're back on Friday for the Bad Batch finale review. We'll be back here next Wednesday for chapter 22. So until next time, everyone, take care. And we will see you again.
Bruh.